Welcome to Thinking Outside the Soil with your host, Johnny Alfalfaseed, where we get to talk story and touch on topics about hydroponics and the farmers who grow the crops and creatures we need to eat. Good morning, and hello from Blooming Health Farms, and thank you for being with us on this beautiful day. I want to tell you real quick about an adventure I had yesterday. I am raising baby goslings here in the center of Greeley. It's a little bit urban here, and my house is off the main street about 100 yards, so we're slightly protected, and it's allowed me to be able to have some space to raise some of our baby birds without drawing a lot of attention to ourselves. Well, I have also been imprinting some baby geese over the last year. When they're little, I want to make sure that they're not as aggressive to people, so I walk them up and down my driveway. I walked them around the neighborhood a few times. Well, yesterday, about midday, I was like, where are my geese at? I have not heard them honk for a while. And I began walking the block around the neighborhood and started to get a little bit anxious, and then looked down at my phone and saw a voicemail from a number I didn't recognize. And thankfully, it was a lady who had located my geese. The message said, "Hey, this is Christy. I am at a nearby clinic, and it looks like we have a bunch of baby geese. I know that you're involved with birds somehow, so maybe you might be able to help me." So I immediately called her back and asked her where she was. And we went down there and had a good laugh and took some pictures, and I walked them back here to Blooming Health Farms, which is only a couple blocks away, and I orient them to their water, and they were just happy as baby geese could be. Now it's clear you can hear the love for the things I do in my voice, and today I wanted to talk about one of the staples in my diet that I have loved for a long time since I was a little kid are eggs, and it may be no surprise as to why it might be my favorite food. A little bit of it has to do that we're able to get our eggs using our amazing hydroponic processes. So I'm able to bring in what I'm best at and have these really awesome eggs. Now, as we've been selling eggs over the past while now, I've had a lot of questions about the different aspects of our egg, and specifically today I wanted to share a little bit more about why we put a sticker on our egg cartons that talks about cooking eggs and the risk of salmonella. But real quick, before I dive into today's show, I haven't asked this for some time now, but if you're loving what you've heard, or if you want to hear something different, please do leave me a review so I know where we can go and what's going to be as valuable to you further down the line. Now, eggs have always been a staple in my diet. It's been a source of nutrition that I've valued for a long time. Eggs are really easy to prepare, they're really versatile, and they're extremely healthy. It's one of the reasons that I originally brought chickens to our aquaponics farm. But really, as I started to dive deeper into the whole entire sustainable farming movement, I really discovered that there's pieces of agriculture that are often overlooked. And one of those aspects that I learned is often overlooked is the whole idea of egg safety. Now, I grew up as a high school athlete eating raw eggs, and I quickly realized if I was going to run a successful business, I had to be careful about giving raw food to people. I wanted to provide the healthiest, safest possible food for all of our customers, for our community. I wanted to make sure that everyone could enjoy the inherent benefits of all this awesome food that we were going to produce without worrying about it making them sick. And that's really true of our eggs, which have become the bread and butter of our business. Now, The wake-up call for me came when I had to first purchase farm liability insurance and learned about risks to you like salmonella bacteria, which can be in clean, unbroken eggs. So I knew that I had to take as much action as possible, aside from just getting insurance, to protect our customers, but also educate you guys about safe handling practices. Now, bacteria is very small, and salmonella is really this invisible villain inside of an egg that could potentially threaten the health of anyone who eats and consumes too much of it. This tiny bacteria can really cause big problems, and I'm determined to make sure that my customers, or even myself or those around me, never get sick. And thankfully, I was raised with a USDA FSIS father who impressed food safety upon me on a regular basis. So when I was looking at making sure I was talking about this properly, I was protecting you, I was protecting us, I went and turned to all of those experts in food safety, looked up all of the agricultural best practices, and I referenced the book that I have, which is called HACCP, A Systematic Approach to Food Safety. And it's a comprehensive manual for developing and implementing a hazard analysis and critical control point plan, which is what HACCP means, hazard analysis and critical control points. It is a way to ensure that all of our foods in the different areas of agriculture are food safe. Now, it's quite real that the risk of salmonella in our uncracked or uncooked eggs is small, but proper handling and cooking are absolutely essential to eliminate it entirely, to ensure that you don't get sick, to ensure that those that you're cooking eggs for never get sick. And by implementing these extremely stringent security measures and educating our community, I really want to be able to offer eggs that are not only nutritious, but always safe to eat. So the big question may be, how does salmonella infect the eggs? Well, there's a few different ways. Bacteria, the salmonella bacteria, can be on the outside of an egg because it actually exists inside the chicken's body in the same passageway as their feces. It's in the same passageway as their poop. And that's why eggs are washed at processing plants, followed by that sanitizing rinse. And that's what I've talked about in the last episode about putting the bloom back on Blooming Health. Eggs can also become contaminated through their pores. Now, eggs are a cell, and at a smaller level, there are microscopic holes inside of those. So the bacteria that is on the outside of the shell can go through those pores, and it's most concerning when the egg is warm and heats up and those pores expand. And additionally, salmonella can also be inside an uncracked egg, and that's really because the bacteria inside of the hen's reproductive tract gets into the egg before the shell forms. But what's really interesting is that salmonella doesn't make the chicken sick. However, if salmonella is present, it can be in either the yolk or the egg white. Therefore, that is why we say that consuming raw or undercooked yolks and egg whites is risky. Now, as a commercial egg producer or someone adhering to food safety and educating the community, we are required to label all of our egg cartons with safe handling instructions. And here in the state of Colorado, it is required by law for us to have a certain verbiage. The verbiage that we use says, safe handling instructions, to prevent illness from bacteria, keep eggs refrigerated, cook eggs until yolks are firm, and cook foods containing eggs thoroughly. And I was motivated to do this episode because one of my recent customers talked to me about cooking her eggs sous vide, and I had never heard of doing eggs in that way. Now, that's not to say much. I am a farmer. I am not a chef. I am a scientist. I am not a chef. However, when she saw the label, she asked me about that, and I very openly and candidly explained a lot of this stuff that I'm saying today. Now, I will tell you, I am long-winded at times, so TJ got an extremely lengthy explanation about why that we do what we do. And really the biggest risks of undercooked or raw yolks and whites are in young children, infants, and older adults. Those people generally have compromised immune systems or underdeveloped immune systems. The other people that we want to be very mindful of are nursing and pregnant mothers, because there is no need to compromise or risk the growth and development of your newborn. Now, anyone with a chronic illness should be especially cautious, and it's advised by the USDA, by the FDA, that no one should consume raw eggs. And this includes things like raw egg milkshakes, which I am guilty of, Caesar salads. A lot of times those undercooked eggs can be on the crumble, hollandaise sauce, or any other foods with undercooked eggs, like homemade mayonnaise or ice cream or eggnog. Many of us out there that have egg layers are completely self-sufficient and use all of our own eggs in our cooking. So just be very mindful that the undercooked eggs in things like our homemade mayonnaise or ice cream is of concern as well. Following these guidelines has allowed us to make sure that our eggs are safe for everyone, and it gives just a peace of mind that rides along with giving great nutrition. Many of our customers have shared all of their relief and their gratitude, knowing that they can trust the safety of the eggs that they buy when they see a safe handling label. And now that they have understood why that label is there, they are more aware of safe handling practices and become advocates for food safety, ensuring every piece of produce that we produce not only nourishes the soul and the mind, but also protects our customers and our community. Let's all continue talking about food safety together so that we can ensure a healthier and better food future for all of us. That is all I have for today's show. Thank you for being with me on another episode of Thinking Outside the Soil. Take care and have a lovely day.